What's going on, guys? I hope you all have been having a great day today. I've been pretty swell, not gonna lie, busy AF, more than usual, so I apologize for my inconsistencies in regards to posting, but I intend to do better. Okay, so I'm going to start on the daily chart. I'm going to go with the market cipher indicator already. So let me just get this out of the way. It's more so for an intraday. So, what interesting development today was money flow is actually curling to the upside. What I don't necessarily like, frankly, is that the VWAP is so freaking close to the zero line. The VWAP is this yellow line, is the volume weighted average price. Money flow, though, is pointing to the upside, and I do like this gradual uptrend here. So, whoops. Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I don't like the momentum kind of waning to the downside, but we are kind of getting a dichotomy right here. We are getting money flow, which in my opinion, has more importance and onus, but we do have momentum. Okay, so expect choppiness is really at the end of the day what I'm expecting. I do like that swing trade, baby. I do love swings. Volatility is a lively market, so you shouldn't necessarily be worried about that. So the daily overall, I mean, frankly, I believe I started my videos back here at this dump. Okay. I believe that was the case. Since then, it's just been gradually to the upside. Um, Now, I've said this many a time. This channel, this rising channel, is a bearish move. The likelihood of price breaking to the downside is way higher than breaking to the upside. Okay? Now, doesn't mean that the bears will succeed at all. There's still an opportunity for price to pump to the upside to ultimately retest potentially the 100 EMA once again, roughly around 30K. By the time price gets closer to the 100 EMA, it'll most likely be around these zones, the 28K range, maybe even lower to the 27 or the 26.3 range. But there will be a huge volatile move. Now, I have, as you can see on my macro, as long as price is below 42K, I am bearish. Okay, so even if price were to gradually rise to the upside and ultimately reverse, you'd be creating a lower high on a macro perspective. Okay, macro perspective. There is still this underlying trend line going all the way back to last year that needs to break in order for the bulls to really get a better semblance of strength in this market. It can happen, okay? If this trajectory stays true, we're most likely going to see an inflection point get a decision, basically, get made in about a month from now. Alright, so there is still a lot of time for these choppy waters and to gain arbitrage. Because when the trend is pretty much designated on the daily, which it's kind of not right now, we are in a choppy chop zone, okay? If you're using too much leverage, if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you are going to get wrecked hardcore, okay? That's why using the daily chart in regards to swing trades can only get you so far, in my opinion, in regards to these choppy waters that we've been in. When you're inside a large pattern and that's visible on the daily, you really have limited time to make decisions. You can't just like buy. I mean, some people are lucky, right? They'll buy their position luckily like down here and then ride it for a few days and then they'll take profit or whatever. But we're not that lucky. Not everyone is that lucky. Okay, so when price is within a channel or within a pattern, that is opportune time to scalp. Which that's what I've been doing. I've been doing daily, weekly swings with some scalping, all that kind of stuff. Now, but when price is broken out of this pattern, you can ride the wave, whether if it's a downtrend or an uptrend. You just set a long position and you can just hold it for a month or two, 3, 4, maybe even, and you can get ridiculous gains doing that. Um, and that's what the pro traders do. Like they'll find these pivot points on the daily, and they'll open up shorts. In this case, I did open up a short. I closed my spot positions. Pretty much, I sold 70% of my crypto at this point because I was able to figure out the pivot point. Thankfully, this daily trigger, this daily sell wave right here, that was the kicker for me. That's what ultimately helped me make that decision. In conjunction with the TSI crossing red. Okay, I had so many days. It took me a while to collect my thoughts and everything like that, but I just felt like, okay, we're too close to the 40. We're below key levels like the 100 EMA. As bullish as I was for years, I was bullish for years. I was very lucky. I bought all the way back here. The majority of my purchases were back here. Okay. And it was tough for buy only. You know what I mean? That was literally my mantra for 2 years. But after a while, I came to the conclusion that, hey, I needed to sell. And yeah, so I sold 70%. I literally thought, oh, okay, well, maybe we could have had another shot. But this price action back here, which was a falling wedge, was different from the price action from here, which was a rising channel, which what we're kind of experiencing now. As you can see, rising channels are bearish, falling channels are bullish. Okay. I didn't sell here because I saw this falling wedge. Okay. There was resistance, there were support zones that, were basically calling it quit zones, if you will. Never touched. Boom, pump, boom, pump. And I was thinking like, okay, well, there's no way 69K can be the top. Like that's just ridiculous. That's funny that's funny as hell. But ultimately it was in terms of the market at the time. Now we have this rising channel here, and eventually it did break to the downside. Eventually it was ultimately a kill switch for a new dip, and then this particular rising channel was the cutoff point for many hedge funds. That's where you see this dump here. That's where you see, Voyager with, withholding funds. You see Three Arrows Capital getting wrecked AF. You see a Celsius with withholding funds. You see BlockFi going bankrupt. Nobody, excuse me, nobody was expecting this particular move, except for a few. Okay, I'm very proud, not gonna lie, of me figuring out this bear flag. And yeah, ultimately we broke to the downside. I was like, you know what? Like, so many people are getting wrecked. Start recording myself, getting better at overall trading and stuff, and actually showing and sharing my consensus. But anyway, going back to the daily on my other indicators here. On the daily chart, let's see what's the dealio. Okay, so the daily, it's weird because the MACD is pointing to the downside, but momentum is still weak to the downside, really. Now this could roll over and print red candles, and that's all she wrote. But at the same time, I just do think this pumpage was pretty substantial, and there was a lot of good news overall in regards to inflation reducing in terms of overall inflation numbers. That's good. That's a good sign. Also, we did see BlockFi kind of resolve their bankruptcy issues. Voyager as well is trucking through their overall bankruptcy, Chapter 11 bankruptcy case. Celsius as well. There's like a committee in regards to the Celsius case, so there's a lot of resolutions to like all of this negative crap that's happened over the past like 2 months. Okay. Also, Coinbase has teamed up with one of the largest hedge funds in the world, so that's a big win. That's a big W for crypto. Um, yeah, but there are some caveats here. Price is still to the upside, and as long as price is above 23.3, from a technical standpoint, that's phenomenal. Now, the moving averages on the MACDX are still to the upside, so when it's above the zero, it's easier for the bulls to push price to the upside. Yes, we did have that divergence. Yes, we did have that sell signal. But if you actually go to more intraday levels, you'll see. Let me go to the 2 hour and you'll see. So this key level at 24.2 has been the bane of the bull's existence. Okay, so we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts of trying to break it. So the thing about resistances and supports is the more you test it, the weaker it gets. Okay, at this time, the bears are exhausted of holding down the fort. Okay, there's just been a gradual ratcheting up of the overall uh, macro price. The 100 EMA is still pointing to the upside, I'm sorry, and it's bullish. We do have some indecision candles here. We do have wicks to the top and to the bottom regarding the 2 hour. That's a whole different story altogether. We're talking daily. But at the end of the day, yeah, 24.2 is still staunch resistance, but it's been tested so many times, like I would not be surprised for it to eventually break. We're still in this consolidation phase. Uh, you know, I believe 22.5 has been back tested as support. The 100 EMA is pointed to the upside, and we are getting consistent rejections here at roughly 24K around that zone, but the overall moving averages are still pointing to the upside despite this momentum stagnation, if you will. This equates to indecision at this time. It's literally horizontal. All right, so you can't call up or down with the daily indicators, but I'm going to go through it just for the sake of being consistent. You have consistency in your analysis. If you don't have consistency within those types of things, like you start venturing off into other methods and you get wrecked because you have no structure in regards to how you analyze the market. But anyway, the RSI. Currently the RSI is above the slow moving average. It's kind of interesting. We are seeing some form of triangle pattern kind of initiate on the daily, so that's kind of interesting. I would love to see where this breaks to the downside or to the upside. If we have like a candle close, I'm sorry, if we have a candle close and the RSI is below, then I would kind of expect bearishness from then on out, and vice versa. So the RSI can work like actual price action in regards to how you do pattern trading. Okay, so the TMA. TMA is still pointing to the upside and is still held true in regards to those lower highs. I'm sorry, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, okay, and so on and so forth. So that is still consistent with the overall trend. So the trend is your friend until the end. The end is not here yet. We are basically in the thick of the week. So usually decisions aren't made until like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, so what else? All right, let me go to the 4 hour. Let's go with the market cipher indicator on the 4 hour. Okay, 4 hour is showing choppiness within the money flow. We're getting a little pepper sprays of positive money flow. We do have a buy signal that initiated 1, 2, 3, so 12 hours ago. So I'm curious. We did print a lower low than the previous hill here. That's not good in terms of momentum, but could it be enough for the bulls to actually just push this money flow to the upside until it can actually break 24.2? So we're kind of having this inflection point. We are seeing a little bit of indecision overall. But yeah, my money, not gonna lie, is up to a little bit more to the upside. I do feel like it's about time we break above 24.2 to eventually head to maybe like 25.5 or something like that. That's a nice psychological number for people to really kind of digest overall. But yeah, let me go to the 4 hour. The 4 hour TSI. I mean, the 4 hour TSI kind of agrees with me because we did have the fast moving TSI average kind of turn green, flip, and then go blue. And we are seeing expansion, as you can see if I zoom in really close. The slow and fast moving averages on the TSI are expanding away from each other. That usually indicates a strong trend brewing. Okay, so let me go to the 4 hour on these indicators right here. So the MACD actually has a fresh buy signal. We actually do have a histogram green, so that's a very good sign. Usually when you have a buy signal above the zero line, it leads to good things. It's kind of been a while since we've seen one so close here. Yeah, okay, well, I'll check it out another time. But anyway, yeah, we do have a buy signal cross from a momentum standpoint. We are seeing a gradual acceptance of positive flow. It's ever so slight, right? Slightly slanted to the upside, so that's good. Just means choppy, sideways and up, basically. Good for swing trade opportunities, which is what I've been kind of harping on for the past couple of weeks from my perspective as to what I'm doing. But yes, anyway, I see a cross in the TSI as long as price is above 23.424. We are seeing some progression to the upside. So the 4 hour intraday is actually looking a little bit better in regards to overall direction within the next basically day or two. So let me get to this. All right. So, as you can see, I think I might see something on the, well, we did get a bearish engulfing candle that broke below the 9 EMA, but we did get a bullish engulfing candle to break above it. So as you can see, 23.879 is really the key level that price is trying to break through. Fresh crosses on the EMAs, very bullish. You can consider that support until stated otherwise. Potentially even a higher low situation. I know I did skip the TMA, but frankly, this is where the real action's happening. The 1 hour. When you're in choppy zones, um, like this, usually, let me go to, there you go, that's better. Okay, when you're in like this obvious range, that it like price has been in this range, roughly what, 2 weeks. Yeah, so when you're in a range like this, the intraday 1 hour, 2 hour, yeah, any like that stuff that'll actually help you with pivot points. We'll find pivot points better. So from a daily perspective, we know where I stand, right? So it's either like a bounce at 22.1 or a break to the upside, roughly around 26.2. But there is a psychological level at 25.5. Psychologically, the round numbers usually do well in regards to resistance points. But anyway, yeah, but there is a fundamental resistance point at 26.2. So if the bulls were ever to break above 24.2 and backtested a support, I would expect, you know, 26.25 to eventually get tagged. But yeah, all right. So I'm gonna go to the actual momentum indicators here. Okay, so we are seeing a um, waning money flow, positive money flow. This is not all that great, but um, overall, I do like that there was a huge divot right here. We haven't seen one this low in so long. Last time we saw these that low, it was a completely different story in terms of wreckage and just price overall. Pretty much around here, but that was a good divot to really kind of initiate some stagnation, but overall price appreciation. Um, but at this time, I think we might actually be able to have some semblance of that as well, where like maybe this was the divot that created a somewhat of a higher low double bottom type of situation. That is on the cards. Now, this looks egregious. This dump right here looks really egregious, but frankly, the bears were doing what they could to push price to the downside ultimately. Um, yeah, there was a lot of nefarious stuff going on around here. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so you can see clearly there were yellow X's. Yellow X's on the market cipher A indicator usually means whale manipulation. How it calculates it just means that it's an anomaly. It measures the performance of large wallets. So it calculates volume that is completely outside of the scope of the overall average trajectory of purchases and such like that, buys and sells, versus whale wallets, basically wallets that are greater in terms of overall just heft in terms of sales. Um, yeah, and they were really trying to push the price all the way down, but there's a lot of buy orders here at 22.5, and it was just a complete quick um, accumulation, really quick accumulation. As you can see, within basically 3 minutes, price dumped almost 2%, and it eventually actually tagged this um, historical support level. It was resistance, but it has been confirmed and flipped as support on multiple occasions. It was flipped as support here. So there's reasons to why I have these lines and everything here. I'm not just putting it for show and aesthetics. It's actually key indicators that I want to have um, tagged and really helps me find pivot points. So this zone has been tested for so long. This is maybe like the seventh or eighth time that price has dabbled in this zone between 24.2 and 23.8, 23.9. I'm getting tired of this zone. The chop has been fun. It's been fun. It's been nice. It's been good for swing trades and everything like that. But I mean, I just want to like buy and hold and just forget about it. Like oh, this is it's getting nerve-wracking at this point. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to the 1 hour here. So far, the 9 EMA, which is this yellow line, is acting as support at this time. The hollow candles are bullish candles, so we're currently seeing some bullishness. Uh, Full body candles are bearish candles, just to let you know. Yeah, hollow candles are bullish candles. Okay. I don't think I actually went to the indicators on the 1 hour here. So I did the market cipher indicator. We are getting a buy signal. Uh, we did have an attempt of a cross here, but no, it looks like the bulls want to have another go at it. That's awesome. Um, Now TSI here is nowhere near the overbought zone. This can go further here. This is a different TSI format, different it's just calibrated differently, but I do like this as more of a slower moving average. People are asking me, it's like, hey dude, why do you have two TSIs? I was like, oh, okay, well one's calibrated traditionally, the other's calibrated more custom. But anyway, um, yeah, and I do like having two TSIs that show kind of different stories. It really helps when the market is extra volatile. All right, so the MACD on the 1 hour. We are seeing momentum kind of go down to the downside, but I like how the trajectory of the MACD is actually pointing to the upside, so that to me indicates that we could have another leg to the upside before it's all said and done. Bears did try to curl the fast moving average to the slow moving average. Hasn't happened just yet. The bulls are fighting back after hours. But maybe after hours we could see a resolution. We did see the 1 hour cross to the downside, but as you can see, this is, in my opinion, a confirmed higher low situation. But can we actually get a new lower high? Higher high, lower high? Well, really the TMA is what I'm going to be looking at. And the TMA, from my perspective, actually is showing some potential of actually revisiting to the top side. So all's well for the Bulls front, in my opinion. All right here. So my overall consensus is we did have a dip. We did get back tested at 23.5. This was a key level for me. We had a crazy god, we had a bull god candle right here. Overall, we had what? It was basically five. We had a 5% pump to the upside. Bears tried to reverse it, but as you can see, this was a key level right here because it was a former local high, and it was back tested right here. Got rejected gnarly as with his bearish engulfing candle, but the EMAs were kind of holding on as support. We did have bears try to manipulate price and go below, but ultimately the bulls stepped up and created a higher low from this instance, higher low. And yeah, so far we got that divot, um, and we're seeing a bulls actually get another shot, get another go at attempting to break 24.2. This is a key level. If you see hourly candle closes above 24.2, then get ready because we're going to see fireworks. But at the end of the day, it's going to run. In my opinion, I think it's going to break. It's going to run, but I ultimately think it's going to come back down. So I'm not going to do crap in regards to the initial break. I want to see a back test, and it could be instance. It could be really instant. So like, let's say we have a bullish candle, back test as support, and then it just runs. Then I might consider it, and have like a stop loss below, um, basically 23.879. And if price breaks back down below, then I'll close that long. Ultimately, I am leaning more bullish as time's going on. Anyway, all right, I've kept you guys for long enough. I appreciate you guys for continuing watching these videos. Thank you so much for the kind support and the DMs and stuff like that. I know I've been a little shaky as of late. When I came back from vacation, it's kind of thrown my whole schedule off and stuff like that. I have also more obligations in regards to my work, but I'm trying to find a better balance, and I appreciate you guys sticking around nonetheless. And yeah, if you haven't liked the video yet, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Yeah, let me know in the comment sections below what you think. Like, are we gonna get like just rejected from 24.2, or do you think we're actually gonna finally break it and continue to maybe 25.5? I'm curious as to your thoughts. But have a good one and take care. Bye bye.